Right now to the press conference we've been telling you about.
Tim O'Hara and Lieutenant Governor Sabina Matos. It is still early hours in the incident that occurred at Brown today, and so please understand that it's important for us to share what details we do have to the community, because there's a lot of fear and anxiety and unfortunately already some misinformation, but this is very early hours, and so please know that some of these details may be subject to change, that this investigation is ongoing. We will be as transparent as we can in the hours to come, and we'll provide regular updates, but we're going to share what we do know at this time. But please bear with us as we know sometimes these details shift as the investigation progresses. Sadly, today is a day that the City of Providence and the state of Rhode Island prayed would never come. We've heard about horrific acts of gun violence and active shooter situations in other places, but not here. But this afternoon at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we received a call. 4:05 was when the initial call came in to Brown University of a report of an active shooter. I can confirm that there are 2 individuals who have died this afternoon, and there are another 8 in critical status, though stable, at Rhode Island Hospital. Those are the only injuries or casualties that we know at this time. But as I mentioned, and it's important to remind folks, these numbers may change. We are still in early hours, but at this time there are 2 deceased and 8 who are critical but stable at Rhode Island Hospital. Additionally, we do not have a shooter in custody at this time. There is a shelter in place in effect for the greater Brown University area. If you live on or near Brown's campus, we are encouraging you to stay home and stay inside. If you're not home at this time, we would encourage you not to return to your homes until the shelter in place has been lifted. We will make regular updates through all City of Providence official social media channels. That's where you can find out more information about the shelter in place, if it changes, when it's lifted. I want to commend the heroic work of the Providence Police Department, the Brown Police Department, the Providence Fire Department, and the many agencies who provided mutual aid today. Brown Police responded first and then were quickly assisted by Providence Police, who fearlessly and courageously entered and worked through the building, and we'll hear from them in a minute. Providence Fire responded quickly as well and transported several of the victims. The fire department was assisted with mutual aid from across the state of Rhode Island. And as I think we know our community to be, our neighbors have really stepped up in a big way today. And we're very grateful for everyone who has offered assistance and who will continue to offer assistance. The fire department was aided by departments in Warwick, Barrington, Bristol, Brown, EMS, Pawtucket, Cranston, Coventry, Smithfield, East Greenwich, North Kingstown, Woonsocket, Professional Ambulance Company, Scituate, and Cumberland. Providence Police and Brown Police were aided by East Providence, Cranston, Cumberland, the State Police, the FBI, and the ATF. Brown, Providence, and the FBI are currently in close coordination as they seek to find the shooter or shooters. The shooting took place at the Barris and Holly building, which is a Brown University engineering and physics building. The building contains both classrooms and lab space. We'll hear from the provost in a minute with some additional updates from Brown. There will be a family reunification center that Brown will be setting up effective at 7 o'clock. Please stay tuned for updates on where that will be. We are encouraging anyone who was a witness to today's action to please contact the police as the investigation is ongoing and they may have critical information. At this time, I'd like to introduce the governor of the state of Rhode Island, who was quick to call and offer assistance and has been in touch with our law enforcement, had the state police respond quickly, and has been a great partner to the city of Providence on this sad day. Governor McKee.